Hello, Board Game Shenanigans here. So, Rogue Angels Legacy of the Burning Suns Kickstarter went live earlier this week, and before this, I put this game on my top 10 anticipated games list for, I guess, just for the when I made that video, the ones I had in my mind at the time. So I threw this one in there because it was starting to come out with videos at the time. People were talking about it, and I'd seen it before last year when the old campaign was live, but never really picked up on it too much. But now it's come back, and it's done much better than it did the first time, because that was like 30,000 ish. Now it's got double that. I'm just going to go through this campaign in general. For starters, they call it Rogue Angels, so they've kind of took out the subtitle from the Kickstarter heading, which I think they need to focus more on that legacy, but it's so small in there, you're not sure. But it is a legacy style game where you're going to add stickers and modify the cards and stuff that you have. So I think that they should have maybe shown that off a bit more, because it is a legacy, but it is one that's like resettable. So I think it throws some people off if they see the word legacy, but now it's like they're not really showing it off front and center as much. Like, it's not even in the description here as well. It's just, you have to be in the know in board games to know what legacy means. But they should really get into maybe a little snippet in this page saying what is a legacy game, and then say this game has stickers and you can remove them and do that, and that would be good near the top here somewhere. So the game kind of, it's gone through, and they've got just miniatures on the characters and maybe standees for other characters and NPCs and monsters and things like that. And then they do a little summary to start. I don't know if this is the best way to introduce the campaign, because they're kind of saying, they're describing a scenario, what you're going to do, but I think they should maybe show the game off first. Like a picture of what's in the game. I know there's some of that in the video, but most people will probably watch the video after scrolling through and come back up. I think that's more, it's longer to watch a video than to just flick through quickly. So gets down to it here now is the picture of the game. Still, looks similar to what it was before. You have your little boards with different things you can like expand on as you go. This is where it tracks your cards at the bottom, which ones you're using. And then they're showing off the minis, the standees, and generally it's like, you can't really tell that it's like a book system, where they're going to have different pages of books, I think. Because I think that the board does change based on all the ones in a big book, yeah. But they're not really showing that in the picture up here. I think this looks more, it's been like edited a bit. Maybe it's not clear enough what type of game you're going to be playing here. But from what most people have been saying, from what I've seen from other videos, is that it's Mass Effect, the board game, and sometimes I'm not sure how to feel about that, when it's like, well, a quote like that, it doesn't really tell you anything about the game. Neither does that. And even King of Average's quote here is just kind of saying it's easy to play. Well, a lot of games are easy to play, but is it fun? Is it good? Do the mechanics work? I think some people have been, maybe they've rushed out these reviews because the prototypes were quite recent, last couple of months, and this is quite a big game. I don't know if I've seen any reviewer who's been playing this on Tabletop Simulator for a lot longer. If anyone knows a review from that, I'd like to see one like that. Maybe someone who's gone through a lot more of the game. So they've got 80 missions, and the prototypes they sent to people, they already have like half the missions in the game. So they've kind of sent them half a complete game already to all these video channels. So that's quite a lot already that they've made. So hopefully that means it's going to meet its deadline, which is down here. It's in next November, next year. So could meet that. So just look at the pledges while we're here. There's a print and play one, which is pretty cheap, pretty good, but up to you if you're someone who prints the minis and stuff and has access to a printer that can print a high quality and however you want to do it really. I mean, I'd probably, if I'd got that, I'd go print off all the cards and stuff, but the PDFs I'll just use on like a tablet or something. But then you'd have to have the book as well, so with the boards, so there's quite a lot there that you'd actually need. So it'd take a while, so maybe that's why not many people have been going for that one. And the actual game is £92, which I think it's gone up since the last time they put this on crowdfunding. 653 people have gone for that. So a lot of people have just been sitting on it, not sure if they want it yet. But just go through some of the things they're listing off here. They got 16 characters, 1,000-page story, 80 missions. Personalities and relationships. With this bit, I'm not too sure myself. I think this is a bit, maybe a bit cringe overall. Putting romance in a board game, not too sure. And again, it's like this has come from the book series this is based off, because they make a lesbian relationship in that book. But I think that's just, it's not really gonna fit. In Mass Effect, the romance is probably like the worst and most cringe part of those games as well, because you've got it's aliens, romance the aliens, and then they animate the bodies of these models of these characters fully clothed in a bed and things like that. It's very, it's not well done at all. It's very cringe at the end. It's like, you go out the room, you get a bite to eat, and you come back and it's over. You've got the achievement. You don't want to sit and watch it because it just feels awkward. It's not natural. But anyway, unique cooldown. So that's where I think you have a card and then they go down and you can use an action to cool them down quicker. Pretty similar to someone like Oathsworn as well, where they have a cooldown going around, but just a little bit different in its own way. Got the cards and you can do tokens drawing from a bag, and they do cover some of the gameplay here, but I don't think it's it's not clear cut. I think the game is like, do 2 actions, next person, do 2 actions, next person. They should maybe set out what the actions are, maybe, because it's kind of quite broad going through all this. And then again, a lot more people saying stuff. Again, easy to play. I love this game. Fantastic story. Not really it's just, just whatever. It's waffle. It's just, this is good. Okay, yeah. Why? It doesn't go into the why. Awesome mechanics. Well, what are the mechanics? Yeah, I've not really gone through them just yet. And then, just like a good book. Can't put it down. Well, yeah, you can do that with any game, really. Once you get into a new game, you keep playing it. But what about 6 months down the line? Are you going to play it again, or are you just going to leave it? So yeah, they've gone with a lot of books, but a lot of this is quite art. It's quite spaced out. So there are a lot of books, but it's not, overwhelming from what I've seen through the files they already have uploaded. Show off the different characters. They've got a lot of text for each one describing them. Most games kind of do this when they have this type of story-driven campaign. Then you get minis and standees for the characters, sheets, cards. Quite normal stuff, really. Nothing, too, crazy. I think it's quite straightforward what you're getting. And then they go through. They've got some things that are saying they're stretch goals, but it's just, just to say that they're doing more. And I think that they've probably had a lot of ideas already, so they've probably got a lot on the side that maybe they'll add in now, just because they've got room to make a little bit more. Again, there's quite a lot of people have got this game. I think they might have had like 50 prototypes they made and sent them out, so that's quite a lot. But again, there's a lot of people going through it, a lot of videos have actually covered the actual game. But you just there's quite a long list. I've seen loads of people that I already subbed to and just other channels. Board Game Officer's pretty good. Check him out. and some others. It's quite a lot. So there's a full list they have, and it's the longest list I've ever seen for a game, to be honest, on like Kickstarter. How many people they've actually sent the game to and have actually given feedback and reviewed the game or done a video about it. There's quite a lot more than anything else. But despite that, the game's not doing amazingly well. I think it's doing okay, but is it enough? I don't know. I think that they could cancel this still at this point. They still need more people on board. And then this is like the bit where I'm like, well, I think this is to the detriment of this campaign, to be honest, this part. Try the game, and it's good to have a demo. I do think that's a good idea. But this isn't I wouldn't say this is a demo, this is the full prototype, which has 43 missions available to anyone. So anyone who's interested in the game can play 43 missions of the game, which is over half of what's going to be available in the finished product, which I think that's too much. I think that they could have just said it was like 3, not 43. I think that that's going to stop people. And just to show it, because I've already had a look at this, you've got the Steam page where it's on Tabletop Simulator. I've not really used it much myself, Tabletop Simulator, but here it is showing there's the 43 missions available. You can play all the characters, all the different paths you can do, tells you exactly what's on here, and they use this to kind of sell the Kickstarter as well, because they're showing off, here's the Kickstarter, get it if you want it. But then you can see 978 subscribers, which, if you don't understand how Steam Workshop works, that means that 978 people have ticked subscribe here, and that means they've downloaded this mod for the game to have a copy of this game to try and play. So that means that more people have this available downloaded to their computers than people who are still willing to back the current campaign, because we've got 653 and 71 in printer play. So another 970 have got it playable to them right now, and 43 missions available to you, and if they're 90 minutes a session, if you're a board gamer, you have enough there to play and enjoy and do whatever you want with it. It's not really something you need to rush out and buy right now, because think of any other campaign game people play, review, show on YouTube. How many people have finished like Gloomhaven, Oathsworn, and Ternaris, and all these other games? Not that many actually finish the games. They have enough there that they can play it once a week for a year, or they can play it, blitz it in a weekend, loads of stuff, loads of missions in a row. There's loads of different games like that people still have loads of time to go through. But now you're giving this one away, 43 missions on the actual tabletop. I think that's a bit too much, and I think that a lot of people, anyone who's into Tabletop Simulator, can already just jump in and do that instead of buying it. And even then, if you're advertising to your Mass Effect fans who are already video gamers, they will also be easier to jump in than other people, because they can just figure out how to play Tabletop Simulator and play it that way as an alternative, especially if it's a solo gamer. If it's multiplayer, I mean, it's harder to get people onto playing Tabletop Simulator online, I think. But even then, it's a cheap game. If you say, oh, it's £3 on CD keys, yeah, I'll download a code and we'll try Rogue Angels. That can happen. So maybe, is that a negative? I think that they could do better without that. In my opinion, I think that a little bit, just a little bit, just a taster, not half the game. Yeah, again, a lot of people blame Mass Effect. I mean, that sounds good. It's like a lot of maybe marketing coming from the guys that are making this. Like, that's what they do say themselves. But that's quite just a bit like, well, is it the good parts of Mass Effect, the bad parts? There's a lot of bad in Mass Effect, red, green, and blue endings, and Andromeda wasn't a good game. There's, they took out RPG. Is there a lot of RPG stuff in this game, or is that all kind of brushed to the side? Do you get to swap your weapons? Do you get to upgrade your cards? There's things in Mass Effect that's kind of gotten worse over the years. The first one for me is still the best one to play, and I don't like the remake version because they make it like the games after it when I preferred the original anyway. So you've got a lot of different Mass Effect type of fans out there. What do they want out of a board game now? And it does kind of work together. I mean, Mass Effect's a 15-year-old game now, a video game, so people who are playing board games more likely to have played that 15 years ago because they're an older audience, as I've said in other videos. But we've got a lot of playtesters, 200 playtesters. Well, I think if you're getting 200 playtesters, you want at least 2,000 people to buy the game, because then are they the only ones buying it, really? I mean, 653 of all 200 bought it, or are they just all fine with the tabletop simulator? They're burnt out, they don't want to buy it and play it anymore, because they played the part of 400 playtests that 200 people have been doing. Are they going to get the copies for free, or are they going to have to buy them themselves? I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but it seems to me that these people, not all of them are buying it if we're not getting that many backers at the moment. You can get it's this game probably won't exist without people backing it. I definitely say that's true there. They've got a lot going on with this game. The art's pretty cool and pretty well done, and it's full in the journals that they've been releasing. You can see the actual story, and there's actually a lot of art in the books. It says 1,000 pages for the campaign books, but a lot of it's art, so you're not reading forever like other board games do. And then they finally get to the fledged levels here. I know they're always on the side here, but these could have been higher up, I think. Maybe just after showing and then showing a bit more. Shipping and VAT seems quite fair, I would say. VAT's not included for any European, UK places, but just you gotta always factor that in these days anyway. They're going for end of November next year. Maybe it'll push a bit out, or could be earlier. Not too sure. Maybe it's quite accurate here. We'll see how they do. Quite a small team working on it. Same writer from the books, and the designer made this whole universe really. So been working on that himself. That's nothing much else here at the bottom, but just a little look for the old campaign. They did have a £300,000 goal, and they got 31 at the time. Now they're on 39. Well, they have kind of explained that here, where they go, it's because we've moved to China, and now we only need 2,000 units, not 5,000. But I still think that if you've shortened it by 60%, you still need 60% of the original goal. So I think they would still need at least 150,000, but they've not hit that. They're probably not likely to get even up to 100. I think maybe 10,000 more or so. I don't know if they're gonna get enough money for what they want. I hope that they can do a bit more there, but they say, oh yeah, we're fine, yeah, we're safe, but will you get the game? Will they have they got enough in the background? They don't say exactly how much, but it's quite a lot of money that they'll probably need to make this game come out at the end. So that's another reason I'm a bit iffy. Will it actually come out? Will it be okay? Or is it just, I can give the money and then actually they'll cancel it, or they might cancel it before the end of the month. It could happen. Is that, are they wasting money because a lot of prototypes went out to people? Is that too much of a cost that they've already spent trying to get the message out there, but it's not really worked too well? I think. I think maybe King of Average's channel did quite well. He got really loads of views on his review, and it wasn't even a proper king of average review, in my opinion. I think he did a quite quick one, like he just rushed it out there for the campaign and did a quick. I've played a few matches. This is how I think. But I think that he got a lot of views on the game. People sent over to come and back it now, but I think that maybe it's is that enough? I think they sent it to a lot of smaller channels, which that's good for smaller channels. They can get a bit more views, show things off. But I think that they're not bringing people in because anyone who's subbed to me is subbed to King of Average or Board Game Co or someone like that. Those channels, they're so big that most people watch them, and then there's people who watch a broader scale of YouTuber out there, and they'll see everyone who's everyone else really. They're gonna watch a lot of people, but I'm not gonna help make more people buy this game if I'd got a copy, or someone else smaller, like under 1,000 subs. It's not going to help too much for the game, and I think that throwing too much out there, I think that you could just say, hey, come on Tabletop Simulator, play it with us. That would have been an easier way to do it, and you don't have to send all these copies to people because they've got it all available online. Just get people on board, do a playthrough, to get them to review their experience from that. And they do go through why it's 16 plus, and they do go through that. It does state that they're gonna put like a romance in the game. Don't care at all for that. Gotta say, I'm sorry if that's what they're really into, the people making this game. But for me, it's just not something I want in a board game. I've seen it in other games, like I was playing Aeon's End and they put it in there, and it's just so cringe. We just kind of skip past it and get to the actual next boss fight because it's just not interesting at all. It's like over the top and cringy and isn't done well. It's not like romantic. It's just like thrown in there, tacked on, like women in Transformers movies, like Megan Fox. She doesn't need to be in the movie. It should be about fighting robots, but we've got to have the romance with Shia LaBeouf. That's what I feel about it. It's like it's not something that belongs in the game. I think it'll be better without it. It just a little thought on that. Anyway, so they do have some FAQ, but this FAQ came out much later, so maybe people saw it and went, "Whoa, how did you do 10%? How's it gone down to that low now?" And maybe that's put some people off to the first day. I'm not sure. I think that is a bit too small. I think anytime I see a game like this, that small, I know they need a lot more. So are they doing it well enough? I don't think so. They do have the rule book, so it is something you can read and have a look and read it and then play on Tabletop Simulator as it says. They've the rule book's tailored towards that as well. So maybe they should have just made this as a video game. Maybe I thought because it's just like it's been fully made in Tabletop Simulator. Just make it into a video game and as a board game video game, because those can do well. I mean, there's games like Slay the Spire and other games that have gone with a board gamey feel and then done quite well, and then they've come to make a board game later. They could have done it the other way around, because I think that it's easier to get a video game out the door, and they could have kickstarted that. And maybe because the designer isn't good at the computer side of it, but that's why you hire people to do that, and you can come up with the ideas, and that could work. And they go through the relationships, like I was always saying. Don't know how deep do they go with it. We'll have to see. And they go through pretty much all the rules here, but I think some of this should have been on the front page, like what your actions, because I know it's like you do 2 actions a turn. They didn't really cover this is your turn, this is the enemy turn, this is a round done. That could have been just a bullet pointed in like similarly to this, but better designed, I think, like with some more pictures of the components as well on the table. Do like a GIF or a video like clip that's like 10 seconds long, showing this is what you do, done. That could have shown the game off a bit better. I'm still interested in the game, but right now I don't know if I'm thinking of getting it just yet. Because I mean I don't know if it will fund properly. Like they will release this, in my opinion anyway. From what I've been seeing, the rulebook definitely I think needs work. It's definitely a draft, but it's not really well graphically designed in my opinion. It's looks Microsoft Word arrows in. I know I'm being maybe overly critical here. Not to say that I don't think that the game's going to be bad or anything. I think the game looks good. It looks fun. I think that the mechanics are well laid out in the rules. It's not going to be confusing to play as a game. But I do just maybe some critical of this actual campaign. Maybe because I thought it could do better, and I'm just worried that it's not going to get made. Because I think that it could. Because with all the different channels that have covered this game, I think it should have had thousands of people going in for this. But it didn't happen. It's not really happened. Most campaigns won't get many more until the end. So they've said they need to make 2,000 copies, but they're already only on 650. So I think they need at least 1,000. I would say, because if you have 1,500 copies sitting in a warehouse waiting to be sold, it's not gonna be good not gonna be sustainable for the guys making this. I think they need a bit of a boost, maybe a bigger channel to, hey, go and back this game. I know Board Game Co mentioned it in one of his videos, but he hadn't got the demo. He didn't get the prototype. So there's people out there who are massive channels that didn't do it. I know Dice Tower did, but their Kickstarter stuff doesn't do that well because it's just, it's done on the side. It's not the main channel doing it, the main people, unless they're really close with like people who make the games. Yeah, I've just kind of took this as a little ramble as well. No offense to anyone who's making this game. Just gotta say, I'm just voicing my own opinion. I'm just a person on the internet showing my opinion on this game and what I'm thinking of this campaign. But I guess that kind of is the way people go with these channels anyway, talking about Kickstarters and all that. So no offense against the people making the game, but yeah, I think that this is looks like a good game. Maybe I'll pick it up later, like after Pledge Manager level type of thing, if we know it's coming, definitely. Or I can just try out the tabletop simulator. I think I'll probably do that, see if I still enjoy what I'm playing there, and go with that. But like I said, if it's 43 missions there, I'm probably gonna stick with that playthrough of quite a bit. And when I get to the point I've stopped, do I still want to play it after that? Do I want a physical copy? That's how I kind of think about it. But yeah, that's probably my thoughts on this overall anyway. So thanks for listening. If you listen through this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe, and give me your thoughts about this game. Thanks for watching. Bye.